Hello all, it's Daniel here. So, you're all expecting me to tear apart those two kids and a few other comments for episode 17, right? Well, the more I thought about it, the more the situation felt as if it could be described with a simple phrase: stupid kids doing stupid things they will look back on and cringe. Even though I was getting an issue regards to moderation and curation a bit more notice to the likes of Steam and Dovetail games, I feel like the message has been broadcasted better by other YouTubers in general. Not to mention, I was not enjoying making the episode in general, not helped by the fact I had a cold and I was celebrating my birthday on the 11th. Whilst this episode won't be about those two kids, I will debunk one comment that I wanted to add towards the end of this episode. With it being said, let's begin episode 17.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 17 of the Train Sim News Show. I apologise of the minor delay for this episode, but it's not really much of a big deal. It's not like I'm the only person on YouTube or anything like that. Well, in this episode, we're going to be talking about multiple topics, and I'm not going to be talking about those kids, as I mentioned a moment ago. So let's just jump into our first topic of discussion. The Archon Powerhouse happened to be what can only be described as stockpiling new recordings for future sound packs. Some of these trains include the Class 56, 14, 25, and oh, would you look at that, another 37 sound pack, because you know, we need a fourth version of the Class 37 sound pack. Meanwhile, the 158 sound pack is rolling in its grave considering of how crap it is, but ignore that, another 37 plus. However, the one that caught my eye was the picture of the Class 395. Clues that they might be making a Class 395 sound pack. Why did this catch my eye? Because when you think about it, you can actually kill 3 birds with 1 stone. They can now put the sounds not only on the 395, but also the 465 variant 0 and 1s, and possibly the Class 801. Now, to be honest, we don't really know what a Class 801 sounds like because it technically doesn't exist, but hey, something's better than nothing. Or not, and you can probably just split all those 3 sound packs up separately and make people pay £15 for what's essentially the same sound pack. Sounds like something the Archon Powerhouse would do anyway, but hey, you know what they say, the more the merrier. Bottom line, I can't really critique a sound pack if it's not really finished yet, so I'll wait for them to be released and then I'll start giving my opinions on them. And the only one I really care about is the 395 one anyway, to be honest. Now, moving on. Oh, would you look at that? Dovetail are building a route that is modern, based in the United Kingdom, specifically at London, and features a train that we already have. Gee, I wonder what route this could be. Oh, would you look at that, the North London line. Oh boy, you know what? I'd actually have some form of respect for this route if they based it during the Silverlink era or Network Southeast era, where they still had the line to Primrose Hill and North Woolwich. But they don't, so it goes discarded into the box of generic crap. Well, moving on, do you remember at the start of the video with the text-to-speech, I stated that at the end of this video I was going to debunk a comment? I'd rather actually just start doing it right now, because to be honest, I wanted to talk about something in regards to fictional creations and stuff, however I haven't got enough source material in order to do it successfully, so we're going to go straight into debunking that comment that I wanted to. The comment was made by a user called Xtool, and he runs a Let's Playing channel with high definition gameplay. Cause you know, that's not pretentious in any way, shape or form, isn't it, mate? What's kind of funny is that I actually did check a few of his videos, and he renders in 720p, so it technically is HD, in the same way that an Alpina is a BMW. I don't know, but that's pretty much what I have to say in regards to that. Let's just jump right into his comment, but first, the obligatory transition.
Firstly, why do people like you not realize that you can get the game from third-party websites for around £12 to £15?
Firstly, you state that we can purchase the game for about £12 to £15, which is pretty accurate number. Do you have any evidence to prove that this is the case? Links to Amazon or any other websites? I know you can purchase the game from other websites like any other game, you should be able to, but if you're going to give a correct number like that, you need to provide some sources. And considering the fact that the YouTube comment system is now pretty much unlimited, or the character limit to say the least, you have no excuse not to provide a link. Not to mention, why should people have to purchase the same game again, even if I can get it cheaper from other stores? Give me a legitimate reason why consumers should have to purchase the exact same game over again.
And secondly, that you are not meant to buy all the DLC.
Oh, for crying out loud, how many times have I got to say this? The fact that you don't have to buy all the DLC does not, I repeat, does not justify the price of the DLC in the first place. Okay? If somebody plays this video game without purchasing any DLC, their experience will be, no matter which way you look at it, inferior and unrealistic to someone else who does invest in purchasing all the DLC and stuff. Serious question, why are so many people I argue with so intent on defending the price of this DLC?
It is a simulator. There are lots of different trains and routes to make.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny, because what you said there actually helps some of my points that I've stated in previous episodes more than it does in anything that you state in this paragraph. So thank you very much, Judas. Your contribution to my videos and my criticisms with this game is most appreciated.
If they were to give you them all, they will not make any money at all and go bankrupt due to them spending hours upon hours making these me.
Let me get this straight. They'd go bankrupt because they spent time and effort creating a fully functioning video game? If that was the case, Valve should have gone bankrupt ages ago.
You would drive them all.
Well, of course, I haven't got the time to drive every single train that Dovetail makes, and that's implying I'll even have any interest in driving some of the trains that they make. But, one thing, I'm failing to see how this therefore justifies people having to purchase the same game again. Can you clear that up for me?
Please, can you stop complaining at every second and realize that actually giving people a free upgrade of sorts is very good for a company of this day?
It would be if this upgrade was actually free. In this image here, Dovetail said that if you don't purchase TS 2016, you will at least get the free upgrade, which includes new UI and supposedly new search system. If you actually got this free upgrade, it will look exactly the same as TS 2015, i.e. they lied. I just want to quietly ask you though, do you think this is acceptable? I mean, if you say anything other than no, then I don't know how to respond, to be honest.
In other games you have to pay more than this. Take FIFA 16 for example, you have to pay almost 50.00 for a new version of it.
I've never played FIFA in my life, however I do know a few things about FIFA. For starters, I don't have to pay 25 quid just to play at White Hart Lane. I also don't have to pay £12 on top of that just so the referee is actually in the match. And, oh yeah, you don't have to pay £3 for a third-party lighting effect, so, you can actually see the field at night. Nobody would play FIFA if it was as unstable and poorly optimized as Train Simulator 2016. To clarify, I'm not saying that FIFA isn't the same game over and over again over these years, but at least looking at some of the reviews I've checked, it's a somewhat stable video game, at least much more stable than Train Simulator will ever be.
Anyway, all I see the new version is as a way to get lots of DLC for cheap. For example, you can get 3 routes and trains for a bargain price of 25.00.
Well, back in my day, there was this game called MSTS. Now, MSTS had 6 routes. 2 were based in Japan, 2 were based in the US, and 2 were based in Europe. They also had slightly different eras, and I think only 2 of them were based in the modern day. At least now we can see that your idea of a bargain and my idea of a bargain are 2 completely different things.
Call me a fanboy, but I really like this game and actually understand marketing and about how giving people a large variety is the best way forward.
Which is the exact opposite of what Dovetail are currently doing. I've already called you Judas, how else do you want me to paint it for you? You are helping my criticisms with the game more than you're helping your own points. Jeez!
Also, since when did they delete negative comments? They keep loads of negative comments. The only ones they delete are comments that are rude. The others are deleted by the user.
Alright, fair enough then. Let's take that into consideration. All the deleted comments are either rude, or they're deleted by the user. Alright, fair enough then. I do have one thing you might want to listen to. Did you hear about my buddy who recently got banned from Engine Driver because he doesn't like American trains? I'm being serious, and he was even given a police warning. And it's a situation of, well, what would the police actually be able to do? Would they just come up to him around his house and say, "How dare you dislike something that you are more than entitled to dislike"? Then again, the police currently do that in our neoliberal society anyway. Satire.
Anyway, you are entitled to your opinion.
Do what?
Mate, in the first paragraph you said, "Please stop complaining," but all of a sudden you're telling me that I am entitled to my opinion. Make your mind up! In the world of criticism and everything else in general, am I entitled to my opinion? Or am I not entitled to my opinion? Now, depending on what answer I get from you on that question, will determine on if I think of you as a fanboy or not. Not to mention, a lot of the criticisms that I discuss in my reviews and in my episodes aren't really opinion-based. I mean, let's think about it here. Can you say, "It's my opinion," to defend the fact that this game has no DX12 support?
But for someone who keeps on playing the game, isn't it a bit mean to play it just to criticize them?
No, the problems that I have with this game aren't just petty complaints. We're not just complaining because it's apparently fun. No, we're complaining because it's a bad video game, okay? Why is there no DirectX 12? Why is there no rebindable controls? Why is the game poorly optimized on high-end computers? These are questions that I ask, and what do I get in return? Oh yeah, new route that's being released next week. Please watch our Twitch stream. They don't fix these problems, okay? These core problems that hamper not just my experience, but everybody else's experience on this video game, okay? It's even worse for route builders and even scenario creators, though I will use route building as an example. For my route that I'm building on this game, I can't use all the assets that I want to. Not just because that, well, there's a chance that the game will just randomly crash considering of how poorly optimized it is, but also because all the assets that I want to use are locked behind unneeded paywalls, okay? It's not fair, and if people want to drive on my route, they'll have to invest in the DLC too, or resort to piracy. I wouldn't blame them, okay? In fact, it's one of the few games I'd probably encourage people to pirate, because you'd be better off in general. So yeah, I have no problems criticizing this game at all. Extol, if you have made it up to this part of the video, I highly recommend that before you make a reply, you read my review of Train Simulator 2016. But not just my review, everybody else's review, everybody else's negative review about this game. They're trying to get a message across, and I'll let you work out what that message is. Well, that's that over and done with. Now I've got one more thing to discuss, which is the Consumer Rights Act in the United Kingdom has been updated to essentially give power back to the people. I won't go into full detail about it because it is a fairly long article and a lot of information to digest. However, what I can basically state to you is that if you now purchase something online, regardless of if it's a game, DLC, hint hint nudge nudge, third-party content, etc, if it turns out that it's faulty or not fit for purpose, they are now legally obliged to offer you a refund. I know we have the Steam refund system, but it's nice to have a legal one covering our backs now, isn't it? But it also means that any developers conducting business in the United Kingdom has to abide by this new Consumer Rights Act. No exceptions. And to me, this is some really good news. I'm so glad that this Consumer Rights Act has been properly updated, and it should be only a matter of time until, America takes the same steps as us. Then again, I could be completely wrong. I don't know. Well, that's all I got to discuss today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again next time. Goodbye! Hold on a second. Whilst I was editing this episode, I got some news that Dovetail have announced a new train that they're making. Is it a Class 68? Class 88? 801? Oh, we already have an 801. I don't know. Let's see what this train is.
That's great! That's great!
Was this really necessary, Dovetail? Really? Did your development team just say, no, we don't want to create a Class 68 or a Class 57 with Delta couplers or an Electro Diesel Class 73? No, we want to keep wanking to our EMD fetish and make another train that looks like a Class 66. Really? Was this really necessary? You know what? Screw you. No, I'm off. No, I'm off. No, I've had it. No. You know what? I'll give it the benefit of the doubt if it actually includes some new freight wagons that we haven't had in the game. Other than that, screw it. No, I'm off.